This is the first new ones I've seen photocopied. And we may take the exception form out to read it, yes?
Yes, and the IDs as well, if you need to.
None of those. I can vouch for his exception. Good to pass on, or is everyone else in?
So the public count on this tabulator is 10, which is what we ended with at the last meeting.
Thank you. Kelly,
Yes, ma'am.
this one. She did not put in any information above. It might be introduction. Registration, but she can't look it up.
Is the question of ID numbers?
Yep.
She had them on her registration.
That's not, so did the other person who wrote them in. That's not really what they're saying. This fact that they didn't write it in.
Which one are you?
So I can read page 4 of numbered memo 2020-25. A photo ID exception form is a public record. However, the form is likely to contain confidential information that must be redacted when submitted with an absentee ballot. The most common reason for submitting a photo ID exception form with an absentee ballot is likely to be that the voter is unable to make a photocopy of their ID to include with the ballot, which is a reasonable impediment specifically identified in the law. When choosing this option, the voter is required to write on their form their North Carolina driver's license number, DMV ID number, or the last 4 digits of their social. The public's not permitted to view this information during an absentee meeting. So that's for that option 1 block. And so she was in the option 2 section, and that's why she wasn't required to fill out that.
Because she said she cannot get one.
Right. Versus having one and not able to produce a copy. So I guess they're saying if you have it in your possession, but you can't make a copy of it, then you at least need to provide the identification numbers that go along with that document versus not having one, in which case you wouldn't have a number to provide.
She's been at the hospital with her husband for 3 weeks, which is probably why it's not very.
I think it's up to the pleasure of the board. I would say you would want to approve those separately. Mhm. Yes, right. Um,
We are going to separate out the 3 with the exception forms. The first, I will accept a motion to approve and process the 2 absentee ballots that contain photocopies of driver's licenses. Is there a motion to do that?
I move approval of those absentee ballots.
I'll
Okay, is-
second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Now, the three that have exception forms, we've all had a chance to review them as they are. Is there a motion to approve the three absentee ballots that include ID exception forms?
I move that we approve those 3 ballots with the ID exception forms.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion, any question about this, any concerns?
I was a little puzzled about the lack of identification numbers on that one. And I'm sorry, Kelly, I was focused on something else. What was the
So-
numbered memo?
So the numbered memo, there's 2 numbered memos that you can reference. I've provided 2020-25. I'm not sure if I've given you 2023-03. I'll make sure that you have that. Which I think goes into detail on exception forms. But on page 4 of 2020-25, it talks about, and it's actually referencing the redacting the exception forms, but it does explain when you would have to do that. And it says when choosing this option, which is option 1, that you are unable to provide a photocopy, then you have to submit those numbers versus option 2, which is what this particular voter chose, saying that she did not have one. So if you don't have an ID, then you don't have numbers to provide versus having it and you just are unable to make a copy. So the ID form requests that you provide the numbers if you're unable to make a photocopy.
Okay.
Did you have a question, Randy?
Yeah, are we permitted to vote on all 3 together? Should we vote on them separately, each having somewhat different reasons? I have no strong preference. I just wanted to make sure whatever the memo said we were.
You have to review them individually. I don't see that you have to vote on them individually.
Okay. All right, we do have a motion and
We
a
do.
second. So.
All right, anything else? All right, all in favor of approving these mail-in ballots as they are?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Who wishes to go with us?
Thank you.
So if you want to review the public count.
Public count is still 10.
You want me to open this? So this ballot has gotten a warning message. It says that you have filled in too many ovals in one contest. The votes for this contest will not count. And so the options are return the ballot or cast it as marked. And we are to assume that it is the voter's intent to cast it as marked. So that's what we will choose.
And the public. All right, that's all 5 ballots, and the public count is?
15.
All right.
No, but before, Karen, before I send you up, I apologize.
Oh,
Will you just confirm the seals? So this was the one that was cut off, so it would be that one here.
okay,
And then this is the one that's going on right there.
all right.
And then that one doesn't move. It's on the ballots. So it's the same one as it's always been.
Right, 6:30 was the last one.
Okay. So I will place this one on when I get it shut down.
Did you do it today? Good job.
Not to beat a dead horse, Madam Chair, but I'm having difficulty digesting the explanation or the interpretation of that numbered memo from the vantage point of, that was item 2 that had been checked and that there was then a sub response, right?
Correct.
But that was not an indication that the individual did not have an identifying number associated with a government-issued ID. It simply indicates that they are unable to provide
No, it says,
photocopy. Is that correct?
no, sir. Number 2 says, I cannot get photo ID due to, and
But
then,
that's a photo ID. Now, with a social, you don't have a photo ID.
Correct.
That is not a photo ID. Ergo, that individual very well may have a government-issued ID that does not have a photo, and therefore, that excludes that response.
that's correct. But in this instance, the state is not asking for any additional information, and it's their form, not ours. Would you like to look at it again?
Yeah.
I could go get 2023-03 numbered memo and see if it gives it a little more clarification.
And I would tell you that the first time I saw these forms was last fall, and they are, they're a little problematic, I agree. I'm sorry?
A model of clarity.
Yes. because we did have people voting in person that had no ID that fell under that same, that same section that they, because of family requirements or work requirements or health, were unable to get the ID that was asked for, which is photo ID. And
It does not say in the memo that if you do not have your photo ID, that you have to provide the other information.
correct.
That is not,
They are,
in the
they're not out to test voters. This voter states they don't have a photo ID and they are taken at their word. They've signed the form making that statement and that's all they're asked for.
the presumption goes with the voter. So unless there is apparent evidence of fraud, that would cause a reasonable person to believe there was fraud in executing the form, the presumption of validity goes to the voter.
Correct.
According to the memos. So I don't know that I saw anything in that form that led me to believe that there was any fraudulent intent evidenced in the checking and supplying of that item.
No, I did not see any either.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. The motion is out there. Yes? No.
We have a motion and a second.
All right. Any other questions, comments, anything? All right, all in favor?
I,
Anyone opposed? All right, thank you very much. And we'll wait till Kelly comes back with that. Hopefully that memo will clarify it some more. But I would not hold my breath.
I noticed that the state board has announced a meeting. One of the agenda items is approval of county vacancies. Is that one?
Yes,
I had
I know they have
thought
it.
it might.
I know they have it. Oh. That was before you came in about maybe meeting a little early on. Bringing it on here. No. There's no reason to think that they. But, get her up and running right away. And I think Kelly was gonna check on it.
I don't recall. Did have someone in the absentee patients. We had a number of provisions.
Yeah, I know. I have several provisions that I processed.
Yeah.
So
Well, it was the second, but
Well,
they
you know,
didn't go have
yeah.
all of this.
First time
that
again.
first time. Yes. That was the
First time, the second
The
time.
first big one.
So it doesn't specifically state, but I went on ahead and made copies because it's a good number memo for all things related to photo ID.
Thank you.
But it doesn't specifically state, I believe that the numbered memos just give you guidance to follow the instructions on the form. I did call the state to just confirm, because we voted on these in the past with the same, I could probably find the minutes from where we voted on them in the past, where we've had the same instance, but it's not required for any option other than one.
Mhm.
I just don't know I don't know that it's specifically spelled out in any of the numbered memos, but
But memo 2020-25 says unless you believe there's falsity, you can approve it.
yes,
So unless
Right.
someone in looking at that form had reason to believe that there was falsity in the information provided, the presumption should go with the voter to approve. So
Correct.
that is stated on page 8
yeah.
of 2020-25.
Yes, absolutely. And the reason why I referenced 4 was because they referenced the option of not being able to provide a photo ID as being the option that requires you to give personal information that would need to be redacted. So that also sort of, in a roundabout way, lets you know that that's one option. Instead of them saying redact every form, they were specific to people who chose that option because they're the ones required. I think you could reasonably say that, it's option 1. But ultimately, I guess it's up to the board to approve or deny the forms.
Correct. Thank you for the additional information. Director's report, please.
Yes. And I do have the poll book and the absentee executed ballots for you guys to sign so that we have a signed running report. The last day to request an absentee ballot was October the 21st. So far, we'll skip that. We've issued 57 absentee ballots for military overseas and civilian to date. The last day to request a UOCAVA, which is a military overseas ballot, is November 3rd, 2025 at 5 p.m. Including today's ballot scanned, we've received back a total of 15 absentee ballots. 706 early voters had voted to date as of 2:30 when I ran this report. Total ballots cast as of 2:30 was 721, so that's probably gone up by now. The next board meeting is our pre-election meeting, Monday, November 3rd at 5 p.m., unless you want to make a motion to change that date, and you'd have to do that. And this will be our 5th absentee meeting. And that's all I have.
Thank Thank you. Yeah, it looks like our fifth board member should be approved by the North Carolina State Board of Elections at their meeting on Friday, the 31st of October. There's no reason to think that that will not happen. So I would like to hear a motion to change our meeting time on Monday, November 3rd, from 5 PM to 4:30 PM for the purpose of swearing in our new member. Is there a motion?
I move to change the time of the meeting from 5 PM to 4:30 PM to accommodate the swearing in of the new member.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion, any question about that? Is everyone available a little bit earlier? Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. I don't have any remarks today, other than to say thanks for coming out in this weather. We always appreciate you being here. And we'll see you on Monday. Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second that.
This meeting is adjourned at 3:34 PM.